And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York. We're going to help with, and I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they are, including the people in this audience, they'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, thank God he's here, because half of them got mugged, and they don't want to get mugged again. But they work for stupid people at a radical left, and they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying. But the people right here are all happy because you're not going to be mugged in Washington, D.C. anymore.
Shalom, shalom. First off, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Yahweh being true name for the Father, Yahushai being named for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honor to our apostles, double honor to our elders, a great millstone, and to truth and will. And salutations to you, hopefully like pushing truth and honesty, sincerity. This is Brother Yawasap, because you know, listens to the spirit power, you help us Yahushai. Get another update, end times, and events. Well, you heard it from him. What happened in D.C. was just a test run. He intends on doing this, to more cities across the United States. And the next target on the list is Chicago. It's Chicago, and what you're seeing is basically preparations and test runs to see what their capabilities are. They're writing down, they're studying the people's responses to what's going on and how they can quickly, deploy forces in certain cities when, full-blown martial law is officially declared. And this is something to keep an eye on because things could always escalate. You never know when they want to, create a false flag or do some type of event to get people roused up. And, we told y'all that, say, Jake, you so-called Negroes, you're next. They oppress, the Northern Kingdom, Issachar, heavily, with the deep mass deportations. Now they're fucking with, Levi with deporting Haitians and fucking with them. Trump has also basically raised war against Colombia as well. And he's calling it, the fight against the cartel. So he's still coming at, primarily the Israelite tribes, man. So this is something to keep an eye on. We don't know how it could turn up. It could definitely lead up to something more mass chaotic behind this, because they always have a way of escalating things if need be to create chaos and then establish order out of it. Okay, but it looks like through the spirit, what I'm seeing is this is a lot of preparations. There's certain things that the military does, like training exercises and events. And this is just a way to establish that even more. By getting justification to quote unquote clean up the streets, and they're just basically, like I said, taking notes on how fast they could deploy forces and what they could do, and how the people are going to react to certain things. So it's interesting to see how this is going to plan out and if they're going to be doing like multiple cities simultaneously. But nonetheless, man, prepare yourselves, be circumspect, because the enemy is seeking anybody whom he can devour right now. Okay. This is the book of Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, so they've always planned, a lot of things that they want to have done with our people. Okay, so, and this is definitely a target to our people. Of all the other things that this devil could be doing, he's quote unquote cleaning up the streets by just having a bunch of officers march through, and they really ain't doing shit. They might get little people committing minor offenses and stuff like that, but you ain't stopping nothing, man. Because why would people that you quote unquote want to clean up just be out public in the open for you to snatch up? So they're gonna need some type of excuse to really start mass, incarcerating people, so that they can definitely, set this up to be the stage for another nationwide riots. It could go there if they start just arresting people without proper cause and creating reasons to do so. So this devil knows he has a short time left. Yes, he knows this is the end of his empire, his rulership. So he's planning just to come after you jakes, man. Okay? This is 1 Peter 5:8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Okay, so be sober, be vigilant, so pay attention to your surroundings, what's going on. Don't be caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, man. Okay? You gotta know who your enemy is and know what his plans are and how he's moving. And right now, he's hunting after, Jakes, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. They're on the list of people who he's gonna start coming after heavily. Okay? This is Psalms 83:3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Right, so this counsel is done every year, annually. And sometimes every other month. Things that they want to do to keep us as a nation oppressed, and also make it to where we don't know that we're oppressed, so we can continue making their countries more established and great. Okay, because they got Jake really brainwashed of patriotism, patriotism here, to where they just are so in love with this country, man. It's just like, I went to Kansas City Chiefs game recently, and then seeing how everybody, standing up for the anthem, and it's just, it's crazy to see how much these people are really so far gone and supporting this shit, man. Because if you really look up the lyrics to that song, it talks about how nobody can save us from, save the hireling of a slave from the doom and the grave, in that Star Spangled Banner song. But you got Jake crying and taking a knee towards it or whatever it is, showing such the uttermost respect for the damn flag and the troops and all that. But it's a system that is created that hates you and is made to oppress you. The Jake just has no idea, man. So they're definitely plotting a lot of stuff against our people, but it just goes right over, these regular Jakes, these regular everyday people's heads. They're just not going to see it coming. But we got to keep watch, man. This is Luke 21:36. Says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Right, so watch and pray and pay attention to these prophecies and share the warning. Because the Lord is going to give us the warning first when he leads us to get out of Dodge, man. Okay, it's going to go from crime cleanup to all of a sudden you're going to see FEMA camps popping up. You're going to see a false flag event, a purposely created, quote unquote, T-word event where people will be terrified, running around screaming and hollering because it's something bad happened in the city nearest them. And then all of a sudden you come here for safety. We need to scan these people. It's going to be hard to get in and out of the city, man. So you got to pay attention to what's going on, man, because things are definitely turning up and getting interesting. So with that, Lord's will, bless us, edify. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, Tasha's truth and will well. And citation, hope, light, truth, honesty, sincerity. Shalom.